What's up, people? Here I am. If you're watching this, one thing's for sure. The TMEA All-State Jazz videos are done. Before you watch them, I'd really like you to watch this video, though, as I describe a little bit about what I did in each tune. This year, my approach was to take 2 takes of each song, okay? Mostly so that there are different examples. So let's get right into that, okay? In Big Texas, take 1, here was my approach. There's no backing track, so I wanted to speak with you about what you're hearing and what my intentions were, right? So in take 1, I really tried to capture the Frankie Dunlop spirit, all right? Right at the top, you know, bum, 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 just think monk, okay? Really busted rhythms, 1, 3, and ga-goom, 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 goom, ba-za-bum, bo-bo-bo-ba. It's almost like they always start a little late and then they get janky, but then they come right in and it's tight in that cool monk way. So I really tried to capture that. First time at A is supposed to be really playful and empty at times. It's like a small group approach, you know, like combo. I don't have to go doom, 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 snap, a doom, 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 snap, right? So you're gonna hear that hopefully at A the first time. And then A the second time in this take 1, I'm specifically not feathering, okay? And I have some more thoughts on that later, but you should know I'm specifically not feathering, but I am trying to illustrate that the time is on the ride cymbal. During the solo, you know, again, trying to totally capture some Frankie spirit, think monk. If you're not listening to Thelonious Monk, just look up the Frankie Dunlop playlist on Spotify or Apple Music. T for 2 is a great, you know, drum intro, and then Hackensack is very similar to this arrangement you're having where it's music, bum, something else, bum, bum, ba ba da bum. It's very much like your first 8 bars, so listen to it. Okay, so, and then the hits after the solo, so basically measures like 34 to 41. I'm not really concerned about sounding like Frankie Dunlop there. I'm trying to perform the chart and just be crystal clear about like what's there, and I mean, can you hear it? Hopefully you can hear that. Hopefully I set it up crystal clear. Best advice I ever got. Good friend Brandon Guerra. Shout out. All right. At C, it says drum solo a la Frankie Dunlop. Yeah, you need to be listening to a lot of Frankie. Just find a few tunes and really dig in to some of those drum sounds and the melodies. I can tell you a couple things you're not going to hear a lot is like, you know, cymbal crashes on 1. And, you know, I don't want to give away too much because I want you to go listen and hear for yourself. Like, how does he come into a solo section every time? After they play ahead? There's a question. How does Frankie Dunlop kind of usually come into the open solos when the form begins and we're about to pass solos through the combo? There's also some great big band recordings of him, so, you know, listen to those and try to understand what he sounds like compared to, like, you know, Buddy Rich or, you know, Gene Krupa or some other, you know, big band drummer that, like, may come to mind first. Measure 50 through 57. Make sure that's crystal clear. And make sure they're short. I would not crash a lot through there. So just kind of notice what I'm doing. Big Texas, take 2. A the first time is really Frankie Dunlop spirit in take 2. I tried to. Hopefully I got there. Second time at A, I'm specifically walking, right? With rim knock on 4 and feathering the bass drum. Boom, 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 sound. This is more of a tried and true standard, you know, traditional big band approach. If you're like, man, I'm never going to get in shape to play like Frankie, then just play in the box and make sure the judges know that you execute it and beat everybody else in the room at performing this music. There's the measure. It was crystal clear. This kid never got lost. Set it up. First ending, second ending, solo, you know. So just, you'll have to make some decisions, but I would encourage you to continue to work on your Frankie Dunlop sound for several weeks before you just, you know, give up on that. Let's see, after the solo, I specifically used the drums, measure 31 and 32. I specifically used the drums, 1 and 3 and 4. Whereas in take 1, it was, you know, cymbals or a double stop, just a double stop on a cymbal and a snare, or a hi-hat and a snare. So, you know, make sure that you see what I do in take 1 and take 2 at measure 31, okay? Surprise, there's a third take, okay? This is take 3 of Big Tex. Super extra playful at the top in this one. And the first time at A, I was just going for it, you know, like I was sending it. And maybe that means I risked sounding a little, you know, less like Frankie. I hope not, I really tried to, but I'm just like, you know, trying to be playful, like that's the word that comes to mind for me about his playing. The second time there, it's like a balance between Frankie Dunlop, his sound and approach, and then the standard approach where you might hear some walking on the bass drum. I think this is probably my favorite solo I performed, and I'm talking about the letter C solo. I kept wanting to play something different every time I would record this tune. All the things that I had worked on and thought about, but you know, I was improvising and things came out, and I promised myself that I wouldn't do 50 takes. You know, I'm kind of a professional and, you know, a grown up, so I thought, dude, you need to lay it down and put yourself out there. So if someone's gonna hate it, let them hate it. It's all good. But I really like this solo that I performed. Okay, we got this on take one. At the top, I really like the way this sounds and feels. I may have played a couple of bass drums in places I didn't really want to. Probably a measure 7 and 8. I may have played like a 3 and or a 1 and. I didn't love it, but yeah, it's cool. It definitely isn't gonna ruin the track. So yeah, just really from A to B, I think what I'm playing in take one, I think it feels really good. But just remember, it's just me. There are so many different styles and drummers and players out there. And so whatever you're hearing me do is not the end all be all. You might even hate it. So hey, cheers. All right, at B, notice that I play the bell on the upbeats during the sax solo at measures 19 and 20. So that's kind of cool. And then I do my kind of gospel chops fill at measure 21. It's kind of like a grouping of 4, and it's a 16th triplet. It starts on the and a 1, and it's supposed to like kind of shake you. But then I come out with the horns, and it's kind of risky. I just did it to kind of show you guys if you want to hit the gas, it's cool, but it's gotta be crystal clear when you come out. Is it a little too much? Yeah, if I was in rehearsal with Drew Zaremba, shout out to Drew for another great chart, he might ask me to dial it back there, totally cool. But since this is a drum audition, and he can't tell me no, then I just did it, okay? But yeah, so the fill at measure 21 might be a little too much. Take 2 will have another fill. And at C, my advice to you is really listen to the bass and guitar together, and that's your rhythm section, right? And you can lock in there. There are times when the band breathes a little bit, including the guitar and bass. Ching, ching, chicka, boom, boom, bee, ba, boom, ba. It's usually really tight, but there are moments when it like kind of drifts, and that's cool, no shade. If it does that, I would encourage you to stay with the bass in that case and just keep working at it. Listen to where it breathes in those parts. They're pretty much dead on, but at some point, if it sounds funny, then, you know, just try to mark that on your chart and, you know, polish that. Pick who to go with. All right, take 2 of We Got This at the top. By the way, I did not play a rim knock. So you should explore a rim knock as a backbeat at the beginning of this tune, okay? The second thing here is at B on take 2, the fills are a lot simpler. They're really kind of, you'll hear that. I do play the bell again during the sax solo, but I play my main ride. So you'll notice in take 1, I switch over and play the bell over here on my secondary ride, which is my primary crash. I typically change voices for that. But again, I don't want you guys to see this and then only do one thing. You can play both. You know, this is what I call the ice bell here on the Renaissance, and it is a slamming bell. But when I go into B, do 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 dee da be room, boom, boom, ba-doom, boom. I hear a different voice here. I don't know, I just go there. All right, so moving on the Entertainer, take 1. At the top, I do a standard kind of New Orleans bell pattern. So make sure that you look up some Stanton Moore videos. Stanton is one incredible example. There are plenty of other great New Orleans drummers. But look at like a right, left, right, left, right, right, left pattern. I did something that was like a hybrid for that. But that's kind of what's going on, and it allows me to play that and 3, 4, boom, boom, 3, and 3, 4 to lead that and lock it in with the band. Okay, so like at measure 27 and 28, measure 31 and 32, and take 1, I probably hit a little, I shouldered too many times there. So I'm probably crashing a little, and on playback I thought, that just sounds like kind of muddy and messy. But again, you know, I kept the take 2. I changed it. So try to keep it short there on those notes. Careful not to just crash. Da da da. Wee ba da ba dee boom ba. Crash, crash. You don't want to be crashing there. So, all right. The outro on the Entertainer. the bass player is really anticipating that and 3 4 1 and ba ba dum and 3 4 1 2 3 4 and 3 4. It just comes so quick. So, you know, these are the things I try to identify when I prepare this music for you. Like I said earlier, it breathes. It's a big band. It breathes. And when you're in this session, it's easier to communicate, but these guys are baked into this track. And I have to figure out where it breathes, and then so I can move my time a little bit so I sound better on my recording, right? Which is the hope for my first and second chair drummers in every region, right? If we get to record, you want to just know how to record real tight to this recording. So be prepared for that, the outro. And you're just going to want to play a standard New Orleans shuffle. You know, again, check out Stanton. I'm doing some things there like that. Okay, so The Entertainer, take 2. When you walk at letter B, it says time. Stay on top there. I think it's a little tighter than take 1. Boom, 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 dude. And every time I just sat right with the bass, I thought I would listen back and it was like a little more behind than I intended. So you know, again, I just had some reps and I just felt really on top of the beat there, just pushing. And that seemed a little better, and it locked with this recording. So again, it's all about just, you know, really, really tight execution. Okay, on the outro, stay with that bass player. That's my note there. You know, boom, boom, and 3 4 1 2, and 3 4 1 2, and 3. It kind of feels like that, and so I kind of like adjusted my entire body, my entire pattern, to kind of hopefully just stay with that, and then I would just like not stick out. And sure, maybe a judge will hear it and go like, that his groove is kind of funny, but like he's real tight. I can't put my finger on it. So I guess we'll see. So thank you so much for checking this little, you know, kind of tutorial and information session out. Big thanks to TMEA, TJEA, Stockton Helbing, Drew Zaremba, all the session players and mix engineers, master engineers, you know, everybody who was a part of this thing. For me personally, I really appreciate new music every year. It's what we need to be doing for our kids. When I first started making these videos, it was the same tunes I played in high school from 96 to 99. And so it is so cool that we have new music. I understand it's a whole lot harder to put it out. It takes a lot of people and sacrifice and willingness. I'm sure there's not a lot of money involved, but it's really going to the right cause. And that is the next generation of drummers here in Texas and hopefully throughout the nation and the world. So just thank you to everybody involved. So thank you guys. Good luck.